5 episode of Two Guys and a Mic. I am Scott, joined by Mike and Matt as usual. We have special guest, fucking ugly ass Tony over here. Don't wink, please.
Always does that wink.
Weird. It's creepy. You already had the Raiders.
You're
gear
winking
on.
at three guys, Tony.
Yeah,
I know. I want them all to see
three guys and a lovely lady is what we call this episode. So, how you guys doing? You guys have a good day today? Everything good? You guys ready?
Great, man. Started this 5 minutes late. Apologize to everybody. Some technical difficulties.
Yeah, Tony didn't know how to put the title on, but that's okay. Oh, lucky one, we tell you you're a rookie, by the way.
Not my fault. Scott doesn't pay his subscriptions.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay. So for tonight, as everyone knows, as we advertised, today is the AFC West breakdown. This is the part 8. It's the final part of our divisional breakdown. We decided to save this division for last because a lot of friends and family are Raiders fans. So it's kind of great. It's the last part. We get to shit all over the Raiders. We get to kill everyone's hopes and dreams because just like the Raiders every year, they think it's their year, but it's, well, that's Cowboys, but it's also Raiders.
We're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Come on.
Yeah. The only Super Bowl
he jinxes it every year,
the only
man.
Super Bowl you guys are going to is the toilet.
Says the fake Raider fan down below, but whatever.
You jinx that every year. April, Super Bowl. That's all I hear.
Hey, do I got to pull up the picture right now? I'll pull it up, man. You know what?
That's just my fandom. That's my fandom getting in the way of my my Raiderness.
So for tonight, we're going to start with the Chargers, go to the Broncos, go to the Chiefs, and we're going to end with the Raiders, because we're not sure how long that segment is going to take. So what we're going to do, we will go ahead and just jump into it now. Hopefully there's a few people in here. I can't tell what's going on. But what we are going to do, like I said, we're going to jump with the Chargers. So, guys, got the Chargers going 10-7, possibly 9-8. They do have health issues all the time. When healthy, this is a really good football team. I have them starting the season 4-0 because their schedule it's not too tough. They will be healthy, so I think they're going to look good for the first 4 weeks. They go into the bye week. After that, they hit Dallas and Kansas City. I have them losing both of those games and then just kind of doing what the Chargers do every year and just kind of play average on both sides of the ball. After Keenan Allen misses some games, Mike Williams misses some games. You already know they're going to miss key pieces on the defense because this is just a year in and year out thing with them. But when healthy, think about it, guys. Look at, so they got Herbert, they got Eckler, they got Mike Williams, they got Keenan Allen. They drafted Quentin Johnson, and I think Gerald Everett's a pretty underrated tight end. So that offense can really put up points. They have good people on the defense. You got Joey Bosa, you got obviously Khalil Mack, and I think the Edwin James or Edwin James, or Derwin James. Sorry, Asante Samuel. They got J.C. Jackson. So they got a lot of pieces on defense too, but like I said, this team's downfall is always the injuries, and the guys behind them are just not good enough to pick up the slack. They are not the 49ers. So with that said, let's jump to you, Tony. We'll start with you. What do you got going with the Chargers? Where are you at?
So for the Chargers, actually, I'm going 8-9. Not quite 500. But I think I'm there with you, Scott. If they can stay healthy, they'll do a lot better than what I'm predicting. But I just don't think they can stay healthy. Keenan Allen he's going to get hurt at some point in the season. He's just injury prone, and he's older, way older now. I think them drafting Quentin Johnson will definitely help, but they lost their OC, so they are going to be in a new offense this year, and I don't think they're going to shine like they can, but I just feel like they're going to go 8-9, and that because Keenan Allen won't stay healthy. They're going to new offense, and so 8-9 is where I put them. I don't put them too low, but 8-9 is where I put them.
Okay, so you definitely have them missing the playoffs, obviously.
Yeah.
Mike, you got them in playoffs?
I actually have them a little worse than Tony. I have them 7-10.
Wow. Okay. All right.
2-2 before the bye week. They have an early season bye week, week 5, which is not going to help them in the long run, given their injury history. Right out of the bye, I have them going 1-4. They're going to hit a rough patch right there. But they end the season when they're probably, if in the playoff hunt, trying to lock up a spot with the Bills, the Broncos, and the Chiefs, which are not going to be 3 easy games for them.
Matt?
I got them at first. I originally had them at 10-7. I'm stuck between that 10-7, 9-8 area, like Scott said. I have them seeing, I think, making the wild card like they did last year. The only thing that sticks in my head from last year is that wild card game. We all saw the the downfall in Jacksonville, how they're up. I believe it was 28-3 at half. Something like that. It sticks in my head. I understand they got rid of Joe Lombardi, their old offensive coordinator. Picked up Kellen Moore. I really like Kellen Moore. I think this is his best chance. I mean, we all know what Dak is, but I think Herbert can be a top 5 quarterback in this league.
Yeah,
he has the talent to be it. He has the weapons around him in this offense, and I think with Kellen Moore, I mean, I don't expect Keenan Allen to stay healthy a full year. Neither Mike Williams, but Quinn Johnson is still there. Josh Palmer's still there. I mean, he proved he couldn't be a number 2 wide receiver, so they drafted Quinn Johnson out of TCU. But I have them going originally 10-7, so it's a good team all around. The defense is pretty decent. They have a lot of pieces in place on the offense. It's just if this offense can take that step. I mean, I know Burrow last year I think it was week 3 or 4. He had some hurt ribs, and I think that bothered him, and it lingered throughout the season. So.
Burrow.
If he can stay healthy. I mean, Herbert, my bad. I get it mixed up. Herbert, Burrow, you know what I mean. Yeah, he had a week 2 rib contusion. I don't know what it was, but it affected him all year. If he stays healthy, I think this team could be a 10-win team.
Yeah, I mean, even if Keenan Allen goes down, they're not going to be that bad. I mean, Eckler's one of the highest pass catching backs in the league. I mean, last year we had over 700 yards passing or receiving.
That's because he can't rush.
Yeah, we can't rush exactly. So I think that does help them. So they can really keep up with that option there.
What do you guys think about?
Go ahead, Scotty.
No, I was going to say, what do you guys think about? Because I know Eckler coming out, he started the whole trend of all these running backs wanting to be paid. Now, I understand what Eckler brings to the field as far as being able to catch some passes. Mm-hmm. But what do you guys think about him rushing the ball? I mean, this team is pretty much built to carry the load pretty much on Herbert's back because they have no rush game. So as far as that goes, do you guys see like Eckler maybe being back next year? Or do you think this is his last year in LA? And before you guys answer that, I also think this is LA's last opportunity to make the playoffs. I think some of those pieces on defense is getting old, like what you just talked about. Keenan Allen's getting old now. Yes, they did draft Quentin Johnson as far as that goes, but Mike Williams, you can't rely on him to be healthy every year. So I think if Eckler leaves, Keenan Allen obviously will take another step back next year. That defense is going to be another year older. I think the Chargers are in trouble after this season. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are on board with that, but I think this is it. After this year, if they don't make a deep playoff run, we could be looking at maybe not necessarily a full teardown, but they're going to lose some pieces, and they're going to definitely take a step back next year.
Yeah, I don't think they take a major step back because they still have Herbert. That's going to be the key right there. And they drafted young wide receivers. They just got to make sure they don't lose the defense as much as they're going to. So I think that because of those older pieces, that is going to hurt them. I personally think they bring Eckler back. I know he started the whole conversation with everyone, but it depends on what he brings to the table this year. I think they bring him back. I don't think the Chargers try to toy with him because he's healthy. He doesn't really get hurt often, and he put up 13 touchdowns last year, so he can get the ball in the end zone. I think he finesses his way in. He's not a bruiser back. He finds a way into the end zone. I think he's not shitty. He could be shitty, but he's not. And so I think they do bring him back in the next season.
I think, like Tony said, he brought up the whole running back conversation, which is why running backs now this offseason, they want to get paid. We've seen it from Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, like all these running backs. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry last year, which is phenomenal. I mean, that's great. It's just he's 28 next year. He's going to be 29. Honestly, I don't see him coming back. I see them going another option. I mean, I understand that he's a weapon in the passing game and the running game. He's not your prototypical between the tackles guy. He's just a weapon out the backfield. He's electric when he gets the ball, though. I mean, that's the thing. But he's at that cliff to where running backs, he's had so many touches throughout. I mean, what do you have, like 107 receptions last year? Over 200. How many rushing attempts? 204 rushes for 915. And I want to say he had 107 for 700. So that's over 300 touches for a guy that's not a prototypical every down back. He's
but
going to be 29 next year. And it's just, is he on that cliff to where he's going to be falling off soon? I mean,
he had 311 total touches.
Yeah, that's a lot for a guy that's not built
Yeah, and he's
Like,
getting older too.
he's
I
gonna
feel
be
like they
29.
bring him back like on a 1 year because I mean, who are they going to draft next season?
He's not going to
I-
sign a 1-year deal, Tony. He wants to get.
He wants a multi.
yeah, but he's not going to. Yeah, but he has to be
Not gonna
realistic
get
too.
it.
He's not going to get. He's not going to get a multi-year at 29. Was he 28 now? Yeah,
And I don't think he
29
takes a
next year.
team-friendly deal. Like, he's trying to get paid. So
That's true.
Look, this is what I think they do. I think they take a page out of Kansas City's book, and I think they bring in a running back, like how they use Isaac Pacheco, and then you have Jarrett McKinnon.
Yeah,
So I
that's good.
think,
Yeah, you use him in the McKinnon role as a gadget back.
you patchwork it. Yeah.
yeah,
So if
I
they don't make the playoffs this year, let's say they don't make the playoffs this year, do you think Eckler tries to sign with somebody else, or do you think he retires on top as like, hey, I did my well, I'm not going to go to another team, or do you think he signs with another team?
he signs whoever
He signs
offers
another
him the
team.
best
Yeah.
contract.
That's
And
the
he's
thing,
not getting
I don't know.
franchised. That
If the
franchise
Chargers
tag is
don't
going to
offer
be
him
like
a contract,
17.
I don't think anybody else will.
I think so. He will.
Yeah,
He's
it's
going to get a contract. Yeah.
look. I know we're going, we're talking about the touches. You got to remember the first few years he wasn't a starting running back.
That's true. So he didn't get utilized. He didn't get used and abused in the beginning.
No, but I mean, age still goes into it as well. He's going to be 29 next year, so
Yeah, I think
the
that's
body's
the biggest
different from
factor.
27 to 29. So
That's the biggest factor going against him is age. The older he gets, the worse it is for him.
I could see someone forking out 3 years, about 22, 23 million.
3 years? So you
I
think he
give him-
plays like he's 31?
And
I'd
he'd be
give
done
him,
after that.
yeah, because
Maybe a club
he's
option after year 2.
Maybe.
3 years, 30. Give him 10 a year. I can give him 10 a year. But what he's looking for that 12 to 14, 13 around there.
No, because
He's not going to get that much.
He won't. No.
Yeah, there's no way he gets that much, but he's going to want that much. Given
Yeah,
he started this whole conversation.
will eventually deteriorate.
Oh yeah.
So let me bring this up. I just read an article today that Quentin Johnston is having issues with drops in camp.
Mm-hmm.
That, like I told Scott this offseason, his issue coming out of TCU was he's a great wide receiver, great catch radius, phenomenal at the point of attack with the ball, but it's just his downfall was the drop passes. So do you see him making a instant impact as a year one rookie as a wide receiver with the Chargers, or you see him making a back half impact, or he's not ready till next year in this offense with these
He
weapons?
may get thrown with their injury history to the receivers. He may get thrown into that role and not have a choice.
Yeah, I agree with Mike.
That's true.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. I don't think it sucks to say that, right? Because I don't wish injury on anybody, but Keenan Allen just has that history of he's gonna get hurt. Whether it's 1 game, 5 games, he's gonna get hurt. And
Mike
so
Williams too.
Mike Williams too. And
He's
I think
bad.
Quentin Johnson will get the opportunity not because he's going to earn it, but because he's going to have to step up. And so he might drop a bunch of passes, but it'll make him better in the long run. Or he can just be like Deontay Johnson and just continue to be the next worst pass dropper.
Tony, quick question, because I know we're live. Is there an option on the side to bring in the comment section?
I see it.
I see
comments
chat.
on the side.
Yep.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's
I
not.
think-
Maybe it's because I'm on my phone. So,
Yeah, maybe on your phone.
Yeah. So anyone watching, if you guys got any questions throughout the show, go ahead and type them up. We'll answer them. We're good going. You guys just want to make a comment, maybe call Matt stupid, whatever. We can go that route. But you guys got anything else you want to add on to the Chargers?
Nah,
What do you
Chargers
guys-
pretty straightforward.
What record do you guys have him going in the division?
In the division?
It's going to depend on the Broncos, really, which is
Yeah.
the next talk. It's
Yeah.
really going to depend on the Broncos. The Broncos are last year's Broncos. I could see the Chargers possibly splitting with Kansas City, but if
Yeah.
not, I think 3-2
I have them splitting with
I have
everyone
them
except Kansas
3 and
City.
3 in the division.
or not 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Mike, 3-3.
I have them splitting with everyone except Kansas City. They lose both.
You have them splitting with the Raiders.
Wow, you have them splitting with the Raiders.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll let Tony embarrass himself in the
It's not
box.
like it's not gonna be a big mind blowing thing, but yeah.
Okay, so with that on, let's move on to the Broncos. So with the Broncos, theirs wasn't so much for me. It's not so much how much are they going to improve. It's their schedule as to why I got the Broncos
Yes.
going 11-6. I think they start the season off 4-4. They head into because they played Kansas City 2 times before their bye week. I got them losing twice to the Chiefs. I got them losing to the Jets. I got them losing to Miami before going into the bye. But they have 4 easy games matched up with that. After the bye, I got them going 9-2. I only got them losing to Buffalo and the Chargers. They got Minnesota, they got Cleveland, they got Houston, beating the Chargers once. I got them beating Detroit, New England, and the Raiders. So I think that they have an opportunity to have a good record based off of their schedule, because I think they have the easiest schedule in the division. I think Sean Payton is also going to make a huge difference. You bring in a coach with just a great track record, a guy who has helped any quarterback that has been, that's
made
been,
Drew Brees a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, and he's got another Hall of Famer, in Russell Wilson. So, with that said, I think Jerry Jeudy is going to take a huge step forward this year. I think this is his year. Cortland Sutton's just going to be Cortland Sutton. He's going to be just as average as can be. I actually liked the Marvin Mims Jr. draft pick. I think he's going to be the one that's going to knock the top off of defense as far as his capability of stretching the field. He's a good punt and kick returner. He's going to help on special teams. So I think he's not like someone that you're just going to talk about a bunch, but I think he's going to be a difference maker on this offense. And then Matt, we're going to start with you first. One, I want the record, and two, let's talk about how Javonte Williams is not human.
I have them at 10-7. I went through their schedule. It's just this team that's a low ball for me. This team's defense is elite. I want to say this is one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the NFL. They're strong up front. Patrick Surtain's a young elite cornerback. He's emerging as that. And I think they have a chance if they can stay healthy and Russell Wilson can be himself like what he was in Seattle. I think this team can be dynamic, especially if they get, like Scott said, you talk about Javonte. If they can get this run game going with Javonte, before he went down and tore his knee, he was a top coveted running back in the NFL. As far as like, I know we played fantasy football and stuff, but you can see it on tape. The break tackle ability, the running through just running through tackles is just phenomenal. His contact balance is phenomenal. Vision's phenomenal. Hands phenomenal. It's just this guy can be a top running back in the league. He's still only 23. I don't know how he did what he did this offseason to recover from a PCL, ACL, and all this other stuff from his knee, but he's back out there. He had 12 touches last preseason game, and it's only been 9-10 months, I believe, from surgery or from when he got hurt. And that's more impressive than Adrian Peterson. Peterson had just a regular ACL tear, was back in 6 months. This guy had a whole knee reconstruction and is back out there in 9 months. And as I said, he has to be bionic for him to be doing this right now.
Yeah.
And if they can get this run game going, Sean Payton loves to use his running backs dating back to the Saints with Pierre Thomas and Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. They can get this run game going behind Russell Wilson with this defense. I can see them doing a lot of damage in the West.
Okay. How now? Do you have them above? So you have them above the Chargers, or you have them about Chargers? So who do you have taking?
I have the Broncos. I would take the Broncos.
He has the Broncos one game over the Chargers. He had the Chargers at 10 or 9-8.
I had them at 9-8, 10-7, but I would go with 9-8, and I would take the Broncos to finish second in this division behind Kansas City.
Mike,
I have them at 10-7. The only game, Scott, that you and I have different is I actually have them losing to Detroit.
Really?
But same thing, 4-4 before the bye, and then same thing after the bye. Just that one game being different. 10-7, finishing second in the second division, and going 3-3. I think they split with the Chargers. They lose both games to the Chiefs, and they beat the Raiders both times. But it is going to be interesting to see what happens with Javonte.
Yeah, with the Detroit game, Mike, the reason I got them beating Detroit is I think it's going to fall down to defenses. The Denver has the Broncos the Broncos have the defense to stop the Lions' offense. The Lions do not have the defense to stop the Broncos' offense, and I just think that as good as I think Detroit's going to be, I think they're going to be one of those teams that's going to sit there and be top 5 in points scored, but bottom 5 in defensive points allowed. And I think that's going to be the only downfall to Detroit come playoff time. because I do have them making the playoffs. But I think when they play a team like with the Broncos, who are just totally stacked on one side of the ball, the way they are on defense, that's my difference. That's just what I have personally. But no, Mike, I mean, I could see it also going that way.
Well,
So you guys,
what's that mean for Marlon Mack?
wow.
So I think we're all pretty aligned. We have them second going in the division. Right?
So you think last year was an anomaly, or was it Nathaniel Hackett and all this a whole offseason with?
It was two things. So I'll talk. I think I agree with you guys. I think I have them at 10-7, and it's because of the defense. I think their offense is going to take a little bit of time to gel to what Peyton wants, but I think ultimately it's going to come out on top. I mean, you're going to have two receivers in Judy and Sutton that are going to be both most likely 1,000-yard receivers each. And then you have Williams, who's going to just dominate. Hopefully nothing happens with his knee. Like Matt was talking about, I don't know if he's coming out too quickly. But I mean, that full reconstruction on the knee is going to be scary to watch. So any hit he takes. But I think that this defense is going to carry them very far, and Peyton will turn the whole team around. But I think it was Hackett was the problem. But I also remember reading articles about Wilson coming into the locker room last year, and he just thought he was hot shit. He thought, and he didn't really gel with the other players. He didn't make it a point to be friends with the
he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Exactly, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I think that played a big part into it. So I don't fully blame Hackett, because Hackett can come in and do stuff, but when you got a player who's pompous and thinks they're the hot shit and comes in and doesn't really, I don't think he gave it his all. He was not the Russell Wilson we knew.
Well, like Tony said, coming from Seattle, the whole let Russ cook. And Pete Carroll, I don't know if he knew what we didn't know. I mean, everybody wanted Russ to cook. We seen him cook what he could have done. But I don't know if Pete Carroll wanted to give him the full reins in Seattle and was like, you know what? We can replace you. And look what Geno Smith is doing without, Russell Wilson there in Seattle. And he let him walk. And I mean, as of now, Pete Carroll and the Seattle's organization was so far right. I mean, He wanted to be Peyton Manning. He wanted to pass more. He wanted to be that, put the offense on me, and look what happened last year. It wasn't pretty sight.
Yeah, but I don't think they built a good enough. I just don't think they had the offense built correctly for Russell Wilson, and I think that was one of the issues. And if you watch them, they just didn't try to make any adjustments throughout the year. It was just the same.
No.
I think when you have a system, like I understand, like as a coach, you're like, okay, maybe it takes time. But eventually, like halfway through the season, you have to realize that is the way you're running the offense is clearly not working for what you have. Going back to what Tony was saying, they also were letting Russell Wilson have his own private quarters in the locker room. He had his own office away from the team where he would just go in and hang out. And as a quarterback of the team, you're supposed to be the leader. He should be in there with the guys, especially after a loss. You shouldn't be walking to your locker room.
Yeah.
I think, too, a lot of people don't know, Russell Wilson had a mentor since he was in college. This mentor died last year before the season when Russell Wilson got traded. It was very hard on him. I think he was a little bit lost as far as maybe personality-wise, not having that person in your ear to help you through stuff. Because from what I get from the Seahawks was that Russell Wilson's actually not that mentally tough. And I kind of saw it last year. He needs to be babied. He needs to be like, Wilson, you're so good. Don't worry. Everything will be okay. You know what I mean? Fuck that. This is the NFL. Man the fuck up.
All right? I agree.
And I think Peyton is going to do that with Russell Wilson. And I think we're going to see a new attitude and a new Wilson.
We're going to find out quick in that scheme. We're going to find out if he's the quarterback for that system or not real quick.
Yep. I think that was a great hire, though, at coach with Peyton.
I agree. Peyton's probably the best thing that could have happened to the Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys want to add?
Broncos can take a step forward.
Just to say, they should take that step forward. But as far as being with Russell Wilson, they are tied to him for the next 4 years.
Oh, okay. Go ahead,
With
Matt.
that contract, they're tied. Their dead cap is at 124, 107, then 85, and then 59, and they can get out in 26 if he. Oh man, realistically, like even if they're to trade him, they have to pay a lot of dead cap, regardless.
I think
So
Peyton's going to make it work for him just because of that
Yeah.
reason.
he is technically stuck in Denver, so they have to make this thing work for the next like 3 years.
Another contract like Deshaun Watson that we just talked about last week.
Mhm.
Hey, if the Broncos suck again on offense, Sean Payton stick around next year?
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah. He gets more than 1 year. Yeah.
You sure? Like,
Yeah,
what if it's abysmal like last year?
No. If John Gruden can get more than 1 year, he can get more.
You're all right. I see. What
And are we gonna hear some Broncos country let's ride bullshit this year?
Oh, don't. So cringe, man. That guy was just.
Good. Yeah. Especially when he would say it all soft after like they got their ass kicked. Like,
Let's ride.
right. Like as he's walking away, it's just hopefully.
Just give the ball to Javonte and let that guy fucking ride.
Yeah.
let him.
Hey, okay, question. How long before they give him back to 100%? First couple of weeks, they got to ease him into it.
Yeah,
I would think at least a week or two.
That's what I'm hoping for. Me, Scott and I were talking about it, and I'm just hoping it's a few weeks, at least 3. Get his feet under him, get him used to that contact.
Because they're going to have a tough defense week 2 against Washington.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be ready for, and it's either you really limit his touches in week 2 and you wait till a couple weeks after to really put him at 100%, or you got to be full go by week 2.
And the good thing is they don't really have to put the pressure on him. They signed this offseason Samaje Perine. I know he's not the best running back in the world, but he's
he's capable of giving him a spell here and there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I agree.
All right, guys. On to probably all of our pick to win the division. We got Chiefs next. Now, I will say this. While I was looking at some Chiefs stuff today, Chris Jones has announced that he is willing to take his holdout to week 8.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I had the Chiefs at 12-5. Without Chris Jones anchoring that defense, they're not going 12-5. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what their record will be, but you cannot take the centerpiece of your defense and have him missing for half the year and expect to still be successful on that side of the ball.
That's Aaron Donald type player right there on defense.
Oh
yeah. So there's something I want to talk about before I get you guys' opinion on stuff. So I went through and I wrote some of this stuff down. Now with Juju leaving, okay, Juju was 101 targets, 78 for 933. Okay, that's what they lost in Juju. Okay, they have now. I know people are still high on Kadarius Toney. I'm completely 100% out. I'm tired of hearing about one good game Kadarius Toney in his whole career. Okay,
the question's more of how many games does he play before he's hurt.
Yeah, I'll get to that, Mike. So look so Rashee Rice, obviously I can't talk about him. He's a rookie. What?
Oh,
Mike saw it.
Mike's reading a comment right now.
Yeah.
Scott, grow up and get.
I just saw it.
So you can read these comments, you motherfucker. Alex.
Motherfucker. I can watch you go 0-17 in fantasy football. All right, hey. So check this out. So this is their wide receivers. Okay. Valdez-Scantling. All right. Yeah. These numbers are their best years in their career. This isn't what they did in 1 year. Highest reception total, 42. Receiving yards, 690. Kadarius Toney, his rookie year, 39 receptions, 420 yards. Sky Moore last year as a rookie, 22 for 250. Richie James, his most receptions, 57. Most receiving yards, 569. Outside of Rashee Rice, this is what they're walking into with their wide receiver room. Now, I understand that you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, but insert Kelsey at 110. Now, Kelsey had a career year. 110 receptions was his career high. 12 touchdowns, career high. Second most receiving yards, 1338. If Kelsey misses any time, this offense isn't going to do shit. I don't give a fuck who your quarterback is. This offense will take a hit without Kelsey because they have nothing but twos, and I don't even think
because
guys are even twos. To be honest, they would be 3 and 4s on most teams.
Kelsey is the wide receiver one in this
He's the
system.
wide receiver one. I have that written down. Yep.
Yeah.
So, well, I just want to say this out loud. I have them going 0-17.
This guy.
So I have them. I actually have them going 13-4, but that's assuming Chris Jones is there, right?
Yeah.
I read the news today. He's gonna hold out to week 8. I don't know. I hope they don't. I hope they pay that man because they need to. He's massive. He's the biggest part of their defense.
Look at Tony. Andy Reid came out today and said there's been no communication. Like there's zero talks between Kansas City and Chris Jones. Like
yeah, I know. I saw the video. I watched Andy Reid do the on the podium. And they have to make it happen. They can't put everything on Mahomes like they always do. I feel like they have to bring Chris Jones. I have them 13-4, assuming Chris Jones is there. If not, it does drop down. It does. I don't think they go less than 11, maybe 10. They're still going to win the division.
Yeah.
But Mahomes, he's special, man. I know you're saying, like if Travis Kelce goes down, I 100% get it. If he goes down, they lose some type of playmaking ability a little bit, but Mahomes makes shit happen. I already call him the mini GOAT. He is the mini GOAT. And
he's a generational talent.
The only way he is going to, the way he becomes the GOAT is with time. He will be better than Tom Brady ever was. So with time, Mahomes will be the best ever.
Will he win more rings?
100%, dude. He's so young.
I don't know if he'll get more rings, but if he gets 2 to 3 more, then he can be in the conversation for sure.
What do you mean? He will. I think it's definitely in the realm of reality. It's in the realm of reality that he's going to win 2 to 3 more rings.
Talent-wise, one of the most talented quarterbacks.
And that's why, Scott. So when they got rid of Hill, he still made it happen. Juju wasn't like blow me away, amazing. He was his first couple seasons with Antonio Brown, but it's because they focused on Antonio Brown. With Hill gone, all you had was Juju and Travis Kelce last year.
Well, don't forget about how well Jarrett McKinnon played.
So Jarrett McKinnon played well. I think Mahomes is able to move the ball around better than any quarterback that has ever played the game. And that's why they will win.
And you also got a Hall of Fame head coach that's calling the plays.
Yeah,
exactly. And they have so much.
And Andy Reid is a mastermind on offense.
But even if their wide receivers go down, Travis Kelce goes down, their depth's not like they're not D class. They're like C and B.
As long as it's not a season-ending injury for Kelce. If he misses a couple weeks, I think the Chiefs are the team that get the most out of people, are the players with the least amount of talent. Like I look at their wide receiver room, I don't see much talent. Kadarius Toney is really talented, but can't stay on the field. Sky Moore, it was injury prone. I think he's had like 9-10 injuries since coming into the league, even when he was with the Giants. Sky Moore, I didn't like him as a prospect coming out, but who knows? It's yet to be determined. Marquez Valdes-Scantling in Green Bay, all he is a deep threat. Rashee Rice, rookie. But like he said last year, Patrick Mahomes, this offense isn't going to run off of one guy, which we all know it runs off of Kelce, but outside of Kelce, it's not going to run off one guy. And I want to say last couple days ago in their preseason game, Mahomes threw a pass to 9 different targets in the preseason. So this offense is going to get spread around a lot. So like Scott said, the running backs come out the backfield with McKinnon. Even CEH, I understand he's a first-round pick. He hasn't lived up to the hype, and I don't think he will, but they have 3 capable running backs coming out to catch passes out of the backfield, whether they need to line up in the slot or not. They have a lot of people in this offense that can get the job done for them, I think, and can patchwork some time if Kelce goes down.
Yep.
Yeah. Last year, it seemed like the offense actually took off once they stopped playing CEH. Once they inserted Pacheco and started using
a lot better.
The offense just seemed to run a lot smoother. I think Pacheco is a much better running back than CEH. Matt, remember that conversation we had when CEH was drafted by Kansas City? My first thought was like, everyone's in love with this pick, but I don't think it's going to work out.
I was in love with it because of the offense. Like Tony said, Andy Reid, the play caller. He had the quarterback. He has the offensive line.
Let's talk about Andy Reid real quick. And I want to do a shout out to Iggy because he's got the comment here. How much longer do you think Andy Reid coaches?
and until Patrick Mahomes takes his mouth off his tit. I don't. I don't.
He's
I don't.
getting older, man. He's getting. You look them on. You saw him on that podium
Yeah.
talking about Chris Jones. He's getting there.
It might be to when Kelsey leaves. Kelsey, I think, has maybe 2-3 years max.
That was what I was going to bring up. Kelsey's 33. He turns 34 in a month and a half.
Maybe
How
2
many?
years.
How many more years does he have? And what you were talking about, Tony, where Mahomes has just spread the ball around to 9 different players. Are
He makes
they?
it happen.
Are they going to dial back Kelsey's targets and Kelsey's receptions to potentially maybe get another year or two out?
Hell no.
No way.
No.
Look at Tony
No way.
Gonzalez, man. He was affected too. He was like 38, 39 years old. Look,
Yeah.
the one that Kansas City doesn't do, they don't ask Travis Kelce to block.
But I what was that stat I shouted out? Scott and I were talking, and I think we're at a draft, and we're talking, and I said the tight ends, the elite tight ends in the NFL, they do not block. I want to say Kelsey last year only blocked 4 times or 5 times.
Football elite tight ends. This
Yes, elite tight ends that can go out there and can beat zone coverage, man coverage, whatever you throw against them as a linebacker, safety, that they will eat it up. And he is a tight end that does not block. He will go out and catch passes, just like Mark Andrews. I'm looking right here. Mark Andrews blocked 5 times last year of total throughout the whole season. So I don't think Kelsey gets his snaps scaled back as a receiving tight end.
No,
Well,
he is their number one
Kelsey
receiver.
Kelsey had 110 targets last year.
No, he had 100 receptions last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. 100.
Yeah, like
110
140,
receptions.
right?
He had 150. He had 152 receptions. He had the 6th most receptions in the NFL.
That's a wide
Targets.
receiver one.
Wide receiver
I'm sorry.
one.
Yeah, and he was, and in yards, he was number 8.
Yeah,
he is a receiver.
He's the receiver for sure. They're not going to play him like a tight end. They're going to play him in the tight end position to be a receiver. It is what it is. He's been like that. Either the Mahomes Kelsey dynamic duo status will be better than anything Brady and Gronk ever were.
Yeah. So okay. Well, fuck Kansas City. Enough about.
0-17, baby.
There's not much to say about them other than that they're going to be.
They're the class of the division. They're gonna. I see them. Before we move on, I see them in the AFC Championship against Cincinnati. No,
I do not.
Wow.
The problem is, yeah, you have Mahomes, but when it comes down to, there's a lot of teams that improve that, and Jacksonville being one of them.
Yeah, I will agree with that. All the teams in the AFC are trying to match and catch Kansas City.
Yeah.
You got the top 4 teams though are going to be the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, and the Jaguars.
And
those are the top 4 teams in the AFC.
And the Jets and Dolphins.
City is the 4th team in that list.
See, look.
Hold on, Tony.
Like game 11.
This all depends. If Kansas City is the number 1 seed, the Super Bowl runs through Arrowhead, and it's going to be the Bengals and Chiefs.
Yeah, that's tough.
Real quick.
It's tough to win there in the playoffs.
Go. What are you going to say, Tony? Good.
No, I'm just talking shit to Brock because
It's gonna be tough to win in Arrowhead in the playoffs.
Sorry. I'm talking to the comments, guys. I'm trying to interact here. Matt's not paying attention. He doesn't want to tell you that he does. But no, I was going to ask you guys. Week 11, like week 11 and week 17 are going to be the games to watch for Kansas City. So assuming Chris Jones comes back week 8, right? You have Philadelphia, Super Bowl repeat, and then you have the Bengals.
I think they lose to Philadelphia in the
I
race.
think they lose the second time around. I think it's going to be a great game.
They're not going to get a call to save them this time, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Kansas City winning that only because it's in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's exactly why I have them winning it too.
It's not at a neutral site. It's not in Philadelphia. It's in Kansas City.
If it was
and
in
Philly, you think that stadium is not going to be loud?
Yeah, the Kansas City they have that advantage. Arrowhead they have that advantage. So I think, and in the Cincinnati game too, I think they win that game because it's at home. That's the only.
What hard game do they have on the road? Jaguars and Jets.
Jaguars
and they're at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Without Chris Jones.
Yeah, without Chris Jones, I don't know.
But look at all their other. Well, okay, you got Miami. That's a neutral site. That's in Germany. But look at all the other tougher games. Eagles in Kansas City, Buffalo in Kansas City, Bengals in Kansas City.
You people lose at home all the time.
It can
Yeah,
happen. That's
it
not
can
a
happen.
though.
Yeah, it can happen. But
It
I just think
can.
they have that edge. I think the Kansas City always has had that edge. They play dynamically at home, so
Yeah.
different. That's my opinion.
All right, let's give the people what they want.
I want to do it so bad, but the
Fuck,
baby's
can we
asleep.
mute Tony right now? Son of a bitch.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
No, I was gonna say let's give the people what they want. Podcast before we bury ourselves with even talking about the Raiders.
Oh, 17-0, baby. Both
Yeah.
times.
And then you wake up.
On a serious note, going to the Raiders schedule. Man, you guys have a fucked up schedule, dude.
Yeah,
Every year, man. I say it every year. The NFL fucks the
hates
Raiders.
us, bro.
Look,
They do.
I struggled to give you guys wins. I was being nice.
So did I, man.
Don't be nice. I want to hear it.
In the 3 or 4 win column. I'm sorry. I
That's
know
more
people-
generous than me. I have them at 2-15, 3-14.
I got him at 3 and
Wow.
14. What do you got, Tony?
5 and 12, and that's because I was being a Raider fan. But I have them at 5 and 12.
Oh.
I was like, man, if we lose that game,
no.
we fucking suck.
I was being a realistic fan, man, when I saw that fucking schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get off the schedule just so everyone that isn't a Raider fan understand this.
Yeah.
Denver, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Chargers, Green Bay, New England. And one thing about New England, I think the Raiders could beat New England, but the problem is that Belichick does not lose to ex personnel.
Yeah.
Ever.
Coaches or players.
Yep.
That quarterback.
So I got to give New England that win. I
They
can
start
see-
off 0 and
I can
shit.
see
I have them starting 0 and 8.
Go ahead,
Look at-
Scott.
Detroit, Giants. I could actually see you guys upsetting the Giants. That was one of the wins I gave you guys.
Me too.
Me
Was
too.
it-
Me too.
But then Jets.
That was their first win I gave them.
Look at Jets, Miami, Kansas City, bye. Minnesota, Chargers, Kansas City. I have you guys beating Indy and closing out against Denver. There's like
Sounds like fun.
2 or 3 like games where like you guys are like playing
50-50.
We're equivalent to the team we're playing.
Yeah,
Everything
and we
Yeah.
should win.
So
That's not a
I
guarantee.
gave them a win against the Giants, a win against the Colts, and it's a coin
Me too.
flip against the Bears.
So, okay, I'll say this. I thought about it long and hard, and as much as I hate to say this,
Matt's favorite words.
no,
No one said fuck dick in my mouth.
no, no. I feel like I had the Raiders going 5 and 12. They probably go lower. But I think they trade Devontae Adams before the trade deadline.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
Yeah,
Devontae Adams will be a Raider by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Tony. What teams or what games did you give them a win? I know you had them splitting with the Chargers, right?
I have them beating Chargers. Yes, I have them splitting with the Chargers. I have them beating Indianapolis Chargers. I have them beating the Giants, Chicago, and Green Bay.
Actually, we all 4 of us pick them to beat the Giants.
The Giants and the Colts, yeah.
Yeah,
But I can
feel
see
like-
the Giants whipping our ass. So that's not.
Yeah, exactly. They come out of left field. But I think, okay, back to what I was saying. I think that if the Raiders just completely shit the bed, which I don't know at this point. I don't like McDaniels whatsoever. Don't like what he's bringing to the table. Don't like what he's doing to the team. I don't know why you bring on Adams only to piss him off. I feel like they're gonna trade him before the trade deadline if we're doing awful. But I mean, look at our schedule, man. It's you have Jimmy Garoppolo, who's the most injury-prone fucking quarterback as a starting quarterback, and Josh Jacobs holding out. I don't think he stays.
So the report came out and said Josh Jacobs is going to report before the start of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because right after that came out, then you got a bunch of reports saying that they're not talking. And
Yeah.
Did you see what he X? Or I shouldn't even say tweet. He posted on X saying, "When did I say that?" ? And then he deleted the post.
Now, look, to get to that, the problem with Josh Jacobs,
He won't be in playoff shape, or I mean, play shape either.
Nope.
Yeah.
how many players have held out due to contracts? And this is one of the things that I'm a little bit nervous about Bosa as well. One of the things that a lot of these guys, when they hold out this late into training camp, preseason, all that, they try to go out and play week 1, week 2. Whenever they come back,
And they get hurt.
they get hurt. They
Get
pull
hurt.
Yeah.
brain shit, whatever it is, because their body isn't ready for football season. You're going into guys who have been training their body for like the last 2 months. They're in football shape. They're ready to go. And they're just either not effective, they get hurt, whatever it is. If Josh Jacobs is not effective, I'm sorry, Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to carry this team.
Yeah, oh yeah, no way. But at the same time, you have to remember, and I don't know why Josh Jacobs is not, his agent's not telling him this. Like, this is a Patriots front office. At the end of the day, they have the Patriots mindset. When have you ever seen the Patriots pay a running back money? Like money. They just don't do it. They do running backs by committees, or they'll have one. Like, I mean, yeah, they have had like a 3-down back in the past, but it's very rare for the Patriots to have that. And this is the Patriots front office. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And Josh Jacobs, yeah, he had a career year last year. What did he do before that?
Nothing. Hurt. He showed up because he had.
It goes back to what we talked about a few weeks ago, and even Scott said it. He's like, "You've proved yourself for 1 year. Congratulations."
Yeah.
We all thought he was an average to below average runner before last year. That's what
he showed what he is capable of, but he only did it because he wants to get paid. So if he gets paid, he's just going to go back to doing that, or like, okay, I got hurt, I'm not going to try harder. I guarantee you he was hurt more often than not this past season, but he's like, I got to play through it because I got to get paid, which is cool, but that's how you should always play, but he's not going to.
And outside of talent on this offensive end, it's just, if you take out Devontae Adams, we are depleted of talent as far as wide receivers. You got Jacoby Myers, who we overpaid for, I think, in free agency. He got a $30 million deal for 3 years. Hunter Renfrow, I just got, I think it was a notice earlier that he was hurt, shoulder injury. Trey Tucker, the rookie. It's just, we drafted Michael Mayer, the rookie tight end, Austin Hooper, who is long. He's not the Austin Hooper as he was in Atlanta.
No.
It's just.
So I'll say this much: I think
I don't see it.
Our wide receiver core really plays to Jimmy Garoppolo's strengths, which is the short and intermediate areas, because you have Hunter Renfrow. I mean, when he's healthy, he is magical in the slot. And you got Myers, who's not bad. I mean, Myers is, he's overpaid, I agree, but he's not bad. I mean, he's a good wide receiver 2-3, consistent, can get out there, he's fast, and he makes it happen. But I mean, Devontae Adams is who you really want to get the ball to, and Jimmy Garoppolo just can't get it there. I think Michael Mayer, my opinion, was the number 1 tight end in the draft. I think that he's going to do very well for the Raiders. He just needs time to develop. So it may not be even this season. It might be 2024 that he actually develops.
Yeah, and that gets me to another thing I wanted to talk about was your guys' draft picks. Guys worth the shit lately. I will say Max Crosby was a great rough, man. I really like Crosby. I think what you guys get him like in the 4th round, right? 3rd, 4th round?
4th.
Yeah,
I think it was 4th.
The guy is phenomenal. He's so talented. But outside of him, the last couple of years, you guys drafted Josh Jacobs up until last year. He was average.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can't draft a quarterback. Look, so shout out to Brock. If Brock is still here, me and Brock talked the other night about this. When Jimmy Cornstar Garoppolo goes down, okay, what do you guys think about Aiden O'Connell? Okay,
he looks good, man.
He looks good.
And he plays good. Let's just say he could play the same as. Let's just say he's not playing worse than whatever Jimmy Garoppolo is. Okay, let's just say it's about week 6, 7. You guys are maybe 1-win team or whatever. Do you go ahead and say, okay, screw you, Garoppolo? Because you guys aren't really paying Garoppolo all that money. I think he's only getting 23, 24. It's not like a big deal. Do you just go ahead and set Garoppolo on the shelf and see what you got in O'Connell and see if maybe possibly he is your future? Because if he is, and even if he plays well, you guys are still going to have maybe possibly a top 5 pick. Okay, so let's use this scenario. Connell ends up being good. He looks like, okay, maybe he could be the guy.
He's going to be better than Derek Carr, that's for sure.
Okay, let's say he can't.
God. Fucking guy.
I just ignore your shit now. I can't wait for the fucking make.
Derek Carr's gonna fucking go off now, Tony.
Yeah.
For sure he is.
Let him.
So let's say Connell does well. Do you guys go ahead and either try to draft a top-notch defensive lineman, or do you guys go ahead and say, you know what, man, we really need to build this team up. Let's trade this pick and get some extra picks throughout the draft and maybe start doing it that way.
If we're gonna do that, O'Connell has to come in and impress. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Against
like I'm not even
against
talking about
dominant
Brock Purdy
defenses.
impress. I'm talking about go be better than Brock Purdy than what he did with that team.
Yeah.
Like our team on both ends is not very good, and we all know for like the past 15 years or so, the defense of the Raiders sucks. I'm gonna say it. I'm a Raider fan. That our number one Achilles heel is our fucking defense. We can't stop nobody.
Every fucking year.
Every year, we cannot stop nobody. So the fact if O'Connell can come in and can keep the offense afloat and to be in the games, just to even be into games. I'm not saying winning. I'm saying to be into the games that we're losing a lot, probably a lot because our defense is on the field all the
Being
time.
down by 14 instead of 21.
Being down by 14, yeah, exactly. So it's like he has to come in and really impress for us to even trade away that pick to get future assets.
I agree.
I think next year's draft class, guy, it is honestly. I've been playing. I know this is not a fantasy football show, but the quarterbacks next year is like 5 of the best quarterback prospects that have been out in like the past 25 years, from Caleb Williams to Quinn Ewers and
that shit every
no,
there's always like
you got to
okay.
Scott. You got to look at these.
Top 5 quarterbacks have not panned out.
Yeah, I agree with Scott.
I understand that.
They say it's
Even
phenomenal
though
every
all
year.
5
But
but
it doesn't matter. Given the Raiders'
gotta
draft
take
history,
them.
they're going to fuck it up anyways.
Yeah,
regardless,
you know what?
even
They're
if they
gonna
do
fucking
fuck up,
tank.
that's part of the draft. You
They're
missed.
gonna get Caleb Williams, and they're gonna piss me off
You
even
missed.
more, bro.
Jamarcus Russell! Oh, he's
No.
so fucking good!
I mean, I know every team is never going to hit on every pick. You miss some 3, maybe 2 out of the 5 are going to be good. But these, I mean, you got to take your shot. This young talent coming in, man.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if O'Connell is good, think about the draft picks you guys can get for the upcoming quarterback class.
He has to be better than good.
Even
If he even has to be a franchise quarterback, if you're going to say good, the good is not good enough. We need
What
a
if he
franchise
shows
quarterback.
up? I mean, what if he shows up? I mean, he's
He
gonna
needs to
playing
be. He
against
needs to
some
show
dominant
franchise
teams.
quarterback abilities. That's what he needs to
Yeah,
show.
he does. He does.
All right, all right.
But
I
do
don't
you
think I-
have the talent around him for him to even showcase that?
Yeah,
I mean, does CJ Stroud?
to my point,
Does?
Matt.
I mean,
How are you guys going to draft a franchise quarterback and give him fucking no one to throw to?
Houston, CJ Stroud. I mean, they have
Yeah.
to start somewhere, Scott. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's like that. I mean, Matthew Stafford was like that in Detroit. He panned out. I
He
mean,
didn't out to the
They
Rams.
do, Brock. They do. I think
He was a
O'Connell's
good
going to be.
quarterback.
I think O'Connell is going to be good. I don't think he's going to be amazing, but I don't know if we.
Yeah.
Depending on how
we're
well
not
he
looking
does,
for good.
Yeah,
We're not looking
depending
for the
on-
next Jimmy G. I'm not looking for that. We're looking for fucking franchise quarterback good.
Yeah, and he could be. I don't know. I
Yeah, nobody
honestly
knows.
don't know. Nobody knows.
No.
But I think at the end of the day, if it depends on O'Connell's play, because I think we're all in agreement that Jimmy G's going to go down at some point and O'Connell's going to take over. I think depending on how well O'Connell does is how the front office looks for a quarterback of the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say this. Josh McDaniels will be gone. I'm saying it now. Josh,
Yeah, fucking.
I was just going to say, how hot is his chair?
it's not
Super
that
hot.
Josh McDaniels. This is with Denver and Raiders. He's a 17-28 head coach, and that includes his 6-0 head coaching start back in 2009 with Denver. Since then, he's gone 11-28.
Yeah, I don't like McDaniels
One
whatsoever.
thing I hate is that all these franchises will hire all these Belichick ex personnel because they think, oh, he was
Gonna
studied
work.
under Belichick. Which, if anyone hasn't watched that podcast, Belichick has a losing record without Tom Brady as a head coach. Going back
Yeah.
to the Browns, and look at
Mhm.
Bell is great as everyone likes to talk about Bill Belichick. Tom Brady was the reason Bill Belichick was successful. Okay, it wasn't the round.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm tired of all this shit with like, oh well, this is an ex New England because they all do the same shit. They
It doesn't
bring
work.
ex Patriot players, and
Our team looks like the Patriots.
Even the
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they really do. How many expatriate players you guys have right now?
You got Dorsett.
We're
You
the
got
Patriots of the West.
Myers. Yeah.
but they're a bunch
Garoppolo.
of they're
Brandon
Nobody.
Bolden.
guys-
Old non-competitive players. Yeah, I get you, Scott. I completely get you, and I agree with you. But if O'Connell can show up and McDaniels doesn't get let go and at the end of this season, then I don't think they look for a quarterback depending on his play. Depending on his play.
So Scott, how good does O'Connell have to do for you to justify to trade that maybe top 3 pick?
If he can sit there and show that, hey, you guys give me a couple pieces, I can win, then I think you stick with them. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, we're in agreement. Probably Devontae Adams is most likely gone. He only came to Vegas because he wanted to play the car. He's unhappy. he's going to be gone. Okay?
Whether it's during the season or after, yeah, he's gone.
If he can show that he can still move this offense without Devontae Adams, with nobody, and progressively get better as the year goes on. I'm not talking about ball out at the beginning and phase later down the season. If he can continue to grow throughout the season and still put up points with nobody surrounding him, then I think he's giving you guys a chance to be like, okay, do we want to draft a guy and have him come in and maybe it's a Trey Lance situation where you
Start
fall
all over.
and he's not as good as it comes out to be? Or do you stay with O'Connell, who proved himself during the year, like, hey, I got potential, just give me some weapons. So if Connell can do that and be like, hey, I'm better than what maybe some people passed on, then I say you don't. I say you trade back in the draft, you build up a defense, and then you move from there. This
Yeah,
isn't
I agree with you, Scott. I think I'm in agreement with Scott here. I think that's what we have to do.
draft class with
I mean, it doesn't hurt. We've been fucking in like we've been
Shambles
garbage
fucking
for
since-
fucking past 20 plus years, bro. Like,
what, 02, 03?
yeah, like come
Tuck rule?
on, bro. I want happiness at some point in my life.
Now, granted, off the field issues has not been kind to you guys either.
No, it never is.
No,
it
fuck.
never is, bro. Every time some bullshit.
Just
goes on,
where we're getting that sliver of hope, huh? To have a
yes,
breakout elite guy on our team is just
some shit
goes up in
happens, bro. The Raiders.
Tuck was fast, but he was just really fast off the field.
Yeah, man.
So
it ended up in a.
I'll say this, and I want to go back to the point on the defense because I feel like the defense is going to.
That's the. Yeah.
It's good. I think it's going to be
the
the
key.
best defense we've had in the past 20 years. Definitely the best defense we've had.
best line you guys have had in a while.
Definitely,
Oh, yeah.
with Crosby, Jones, and Wilson out there, I think they're going to rotate so much. And Crosby's just a playmaker. I mean, Crosby's one of my favorite players in the past 20 years. I love watching him play. I think he's better than Khalil Mack.
That team.
Huh?
Who else do you have to root for on that team?
Full
No
throttle
one.
every time.
Hey,
No.
but you guys also need to stop signing washed up vets. Mark Peters is going to be a starting corner. Dude, come on, man. Marcus Peters was done a few years ago. And he's coming off
Yeah.
you guys got to stop doing shit like that.
Yeah, we always do. We did it with the past few years. Who was it from the Chargers? I fucking said his name today, and I just can't remember his name. But we get one and done people. Like we just get hurt people, hurt veterans who are leaders, and they keep saying they're leaders in the secondary or leaders in the locker room. I don't fucking want a leader, bro. I want a playmaker.
The defense depends on if the offense can sustain drives.
Yeah,
That's all it comes down to. If we can't sustain drives right now, that defense is not going to last. That shit is going to get eaten up alive, like it always does. So
Yeah.
Now,
that's what it always comes
you
down to.
guys, you guys gave up 418 points last year.
Yeah, you don't need to bring that up, Mike.
you gotta
Oh,
go
no,
there.
fucking
But
podcast.
I will say this: you guys scored 395. You guys were only negative 23 points last year.
Still in the negative.
Yeah,
We're the what? We're
More.
20. We're 28th in defense,
Well,
right?
take
We're
us
like
back-
the bottom half of the.
Take
not
us
even
back to
half,
the Kansas
bottom of the
City
barrel.
game. Take us back to the Kansas City game last year. We're fucking dominating Kansas City, and then our defense just out there too much. They get tired, and Patrick Mahomes just like,
Now you need Derek Carr to fucking throw and come back. That's
Yeah,
not
you can't do. They just we
Shit.
getting ourselves these shitty positions.
Niners last year. You guys should have beaten us. The fact is just that your guys' defense couldn't
Can't
stop
stop.
fucking anything. But you guys should have beaten us last year. You know what I mean? Like, I think what you guys need to do is really just start on the defensive side of the ball.
I agree.
Defense going, and if anything, you guys can always just sign pieces on offense in the offseason.
I feel like we need to find a good defensive coach. I don't think that Patrick Graham is the answer. I don't like his schemes. I don't like what he brings to the table. It hasn't worked. It looked abysmal last year.
I
It's
will
gonna
say,
look abysmal this year.
though, Tony, the problem is if you're a coach, do you really see the Raiders as like your first choice is where you want to go?
No.
No.
That's the other thing. You guys run through fucking coaches like Matt runs through fucking guys, dude. It's crazy.
Well, we tried that. I mean, I feel like if if Gruden had a chance in the long run, I think it could have got better. I don't think it would have got worse. That's my opinion.
I think it would have got better. That
I think it would
was
have got better, but the
I
league
think
took
that
him over.
killed
Until
any
the emails
momentum that
leaked.
you guys had for
The
turning
emails
the
leaked.
franchise around.
I'm actually watching the Gruden lawsuit because I'm excited to see who actually leaked it. I'm watching that. Dude, that's gonna explode the NFL.
Yeah,
So,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be watch that. Anyone, Brock, you got anything you want to ask? Anyone got anything they want to ask?
What? Hey,
hold on, I
what do
want
you
to
guys?
go to a
What
point.
do you? No, no, hold on.
I
What
like
do you
I
guys
like
think
Iggy's
about?
comment.
What do you guys think about Zamir White so far?
I think he's gonna be wonderful. I think he's gonna be.
Fine, last year, I actually drafted him in a dynasty fantasy.
I think he's gonna be great. I think if Josh Jacobs holds out, we don't have a problem. I think Zamir White's gonna be able to carry us. He's not like 1,600-yard rusher.
Is Jacobs going to be gone after this year? For sure.
He may not be here this year.
Yeah, I agree. But hold on, I want to go to Iggy's comment because he does make a good point here. Like the Raiders lost 9 games by 1 score. If you ask me, they're close to a breakout. Could be, right? But with the quarterbacks change, that was with Derek Carr. A lot of it, like if you look at that, Derek Carr, in my opinion, was the reason we lost. In my opinion,
I've always hated Carr.
And our defense, but I've always hated Carr, right?
Tony, you've always hated Carr, even from all the way back.
It was our defense that let up a lot of points. But Derek Carr needs to be able to come back. He needs to be.
You have a defense that can't stop you when you constantly put pressure on your quarterback to score points. Like eventually, dude, he's gonna be unsuccessful. Teams defenses out there, like he was putting up points against other better defenses than what you guys were putting out on the field. Like you guys never did him any favors. Like besides Devontae Adams, how many legit number 1 wide receivers have you guys had for Carr?
None.
How
I would say
importantly did you guys change?
Michael.
How many times did you guys have an offensive line?
Never. Look at the history of that. What you just said, like how many times have we changed all of these different positions, not just on the field positions, but coaching positions?
Yeah.
I agree. We never did anything to help.
There's no stability anymore.
It was no stability, but I mean, when we were getting stability, they fuck up Gruden. Like I don't know. I feel like if Gruden had time, it would have elevated the team a little bit because Carr would still be here, 100%. Carr would still be here if Gruden was
you'd
here.
still hate him.
I don't blame Carr because he had 7 different offense coordinators in 9 years. You can't succeed at the NFL level with that.
Same thing with Alex Smith when Alex Smith was on the Niners.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
There's no consistency. There's nothing there in this organization.
I
think it honestly comes down to
get used to anything when you're consistently changing the scheme. You're changing the plays. You're changing the coaches. You can't get any kind of rhythm going.
Now, if it's failing there, it's either failing at the GM's level or at the owner level.
It's the owner level.
It's the owner, and it's always going to be like that until he's gone.
How can Mark Davis ain't doing anyone no favors, bro?
I mean, look at his little boy haircut. That tells you all you need to know about him.
The dude is hyped up on hookers and cocaine 24/7.
He's at that brothel too much in Vegas.
Hyped up on that and let his GMs go to work and let the people who he is hiring do their job and go from there. But
he reminds me of
you hire
Jerry Jones
managers to take care of the business, and you stay in the background.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why you hire GMs.
He can't even afford the team.
He's just like his dad, though. Like he's just like his dad, bro. When Al Davis was there, draft this guy because he's fast.
Yeah, at least Al Davis hit though.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but all right, guys. So with that said, I do want to jump into.
Well, he's not just like his dad. One's alive still.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do want to jump into a little bit of NFL news.
All right, go ahead.
You did get canceled, Mike.
Now that we're canceled, this is the last episode. Signing off. We're as 2 guys, Tony.
You want to run through this news? We fucking
Yeah. So as everyone knows, Colts have given permission to Jonathan Taylor to seek a trade. Now, apparently, there's 7 teams that have called. 2 have made offers. They have given.
Last I heard was 6.
Yeah.
6,
Maybe
it's 6 and 2 offers.
Yeah, but they basically told Taylor, "You got till Tuesday, or you're staying with us."
I
That's
honestly,
stupid.
I think it's stupid, but
I
at
don't
the
believe
same
that
time,
shit.
I don't think they trade him. I think it's all show, and I don't think somebody's going to give up enough. I think the Colts want way too much for him, and I don't think they trade him. But if they do,
Their
I'll
team
say I'm wrong.
that's needing a running back that is on the verge of competing. I could see them giving up maybe a second and like a fourth.
Mm-hmm. And
Maybe.
I have a feeling Miami's one of those teams that offered a package already.
Yep.
I think I can see a second, maybe 2 seconds, or a second and a third getting the job done. Ideal to
We'll
He's
find out Tuesday at 5 p.m.
he's 24, right?
He's 24 and a
Yeah.
half.
He's as a running back, he's barely entering like those he's like at the age where you want him, and he's already been proven he could be one of the top running backs in the NFL. So that's something to look out for too.
Kansas City.
If
Now,
he goes to Kansas
Oh.
City, man.
I don't think so because they can't even sign freaking Jones.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
He's still on a rookie contract.
yeah, but
Anybody that trades for him, they're gonna have to extend him. He's not
Yeah.
gonna go there and play on that contract.
yeah,
Yeah, they'll extend him.
he's holding out. He doesn't want to be on that rookie contract anymore. He feels he's outplayed it. But in other news, Niners announced their number 2.
Sam
And-
Darnold.
Lance. And from what I read, Trey Lance is officially on the trading block.
Yep.
I think we called this, or not called this, but I think that
We did call it.
we said that
writing,
he should be traded. I don't think we said he will be traded. I think he should be traded is what we were saying.
They said, I don't know if you heard this or not. They said the Bills are an option.
That doesn't make
Yeah, I
any
heard that
sense.
earlier.
It doesn't
Makes sense.
I could not figure that one out.
Tony
either.
and I were talking earlier. I'm like, is this a situation with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and they don't want to be with the organization no more? But I don't know. I don't know why he's linked to Buffalo, which is kind of fishy. But I don't see. Maybe it's a backup piece in case Allen does go down. They have a mobile quarterback just like Allen to run the show. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Well,
It's weird.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find
But-
out. Stay tuned.
Is it too early to give up on all that draft capital you guys gave up for him? 3 firsts and a third.
like I said when we talked about the on the podcast when we talked about the Niners, teams get so stuck in that mode of, well,
What they
we
gave
gave
up.
up all this capital for him. Well, you can give up all the capital you want in the world, but if it doesn't play out in your favor or the way it should, you just got to lick your wounds and you got to move on. Clearly, Shanahan wants to stick with Purdy. Purdy has shown he's the best quarterback on the team. And if you've watched, have you watched any of the games?
I watched this preseason game where he was 6 or 7 for 65 yards, something like that.
Yeah, got him down to like the 2.
No, I'm talking about Lance. Have you watched any Lance play at all?
I mean, he hasn't that much footage, but
If you go back,
You know what though? Both games were completely different. He completely shit the bed preseason game 1.
But if you watch the tape breakdown, he's still doing stuff that you're like, dude, in year 3, whether you've been on the bench or not, you shouldn't be doing some of the things that you should be doing. There was a great play breakdown. There was actually this identical play of Purdy and Lance this preseason. Same play. Okay. Lance turned it into like a 2-yard gain. Purdy turned it into like an 18-yard gain. They rolled him out right side. Defensive end came off. He was 1-on-1 with the defensive end. Lance could have stuck his foot on the ground, moved left, moved forward, passed the ball. Instead, he freaks out because someone's in his face, and he just chucks it to the tight end for like a 2-yard gain. Purdy, he rolls out, sees the defensive end coming, puts his foot in the ground. Defensive end runs right by him. He stands right there, plenty of time, throws the ball, completion like 18 yards. That's the difference between a quarterback that understands the situation and a quarterback that just hasn't had the reps. And that was one of the issues with Lance coming out of college was, does this guy have enough reps to make it in the NFL? And he clearly does not.
And to be fair, but he hasn't had enough reps at the professional level because he's been hurt a lot.
He reps in the college level either.
Yeah, he had 1 year under college.
So the fact that you don't have that in college
11
and then you
games,
come
something
out
like that.
here, you come out here and then you're the backup, you get hurt. It's kind of unfair to him. Honestly, he deserves to have a chance somewhere. I mean,
he does, but at the same time, it's also a business, and you're going to start the quarterback that's going to give you the best chance to win the game.
Yeah.
I just
And
hope for the Niners' sake
and if
that
it's
Brock Purdy is
Purdy,
the
then it's gonna
answer,
be Purdy.
and it's not just a
Even
fling.
if they do trade Lance, I don't think they're going to get a haul for him.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not even a haul, like not even a second or a third.
One last thing, because I didn't even bring this up that we were going to do this, because I wanted to see what you guys would say off the top of your head.
Terry McLaurin?
Super Bowl this year, who's going? Who's winning? Tony, you're first.
You want the matchup, or you want?
I want. What do you think the matchup's going to be? Who's going to win?
Matchup's going to be who's going to win. I think Philly goes back to the Super Bowl. I think it's against the Bengals. I think if Burrow comes back and doesn't re-injure his calf injury, I think that it's going to be the Bengals, Philly, and Philly takes it.
You're not saying Raiders?
We're not playing Madden.
I know where you live.
I'm going with Tony, and I'm going to go Bengals. Same thing. Philly, Bengals, and Bengals win.
Mr. Canceled, what do you got?
Bengals, Niners.
I got exactly what Mike got. I just don't
Don't be
think
a fucking homer.
beating Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's going to actually have the Cincinnati over the Niners because it's a podcast. It's not a fan based thing. I was winning the Super Bowl. I think they are. I think they're like we said, that defense is extremely underrated. They can stop the offense.
That offense is on the cusp of fucking being phenomenal, like great.
What makes you guys say that the Niners beat Philly to get into the Super Bowl?
Having a healthy quarterback.
And I honestly think Niners would have beat Philly last year.
But I mean, even with Philly bettering their defense.
But that's going to be a good game. I want to see that.
Yeah, like that's why I was like,
are bringing in rookies that you hope end up bettering the defense.
That guy, that top 10 pick, that D tackle is going to fucking be
monstrous.
I think Fletcher Cox.
We've heard a lot of guys go in the top 10 about how they're going to be that, and they are not that. Look at the one thing about that matchup is I think is going to also determine on who has home field advantage. And the Niners are going to have the 1 seed. I think Philly's going to have to travel across country, play one hell of a noisy stadium, and I think it's going to be another. I can't say another, but I think it's going to be a very close game. And never mind.
Only time will tell.
They will have the number 1 seed. I forgot you guys a division.
A few weeks before the game,
you play the Cardinals twice,
and
they'll be the 1 seed.
Yeah, I think Niners have a great chance to be the number 1 seed. I know you hate them. But we'll welcome you over here anytime you want, Tony. Anytime you're tired of being a fucking loser. So
I'll change my thing. The Raiders are going to go to the Super Bowl and they don't have to fight anybody. They just get a trophy.
Yeah. So that will conclude.
So,
well, what?
You got running back signings too.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Well, that does not conclude it.
Matt, say what you were going to say.
Oh, anyways.
Okay, Matt. I guess Matt got kicked off. Whatever. You said so.
Yeah, are we good? Can I cut it off?
Oh,
Cheeseburger Zeke in New England.
Oh dude, he looks so big. I forgot about that.
Oh no. Yeah. Elliot. No, that photo was photoshopped. I saw him. That's not him, dude. It was photoshopped. That was Eddie Lacy.
Bro. It was Eddie Lacy. Imagine.
So it looks like everybody. Tony's temporary contract has run out. This is the last time you'll see him all year.
Yeah.
Matt's getting taken over. He has Scott. You haven't told him.
Oh yeah. Hey, the only reason Tony gets to stay on for the football season is because he didn't yell Raiders. It was a test and he passed. That was gonna get us canceled. But anyways,
you're lucky the baby's asleep.
So anyways, that conclude this episode. We'll be back next week talking about news, breaking down the season. We'll probably do like a playoff bracket stuff like that.
And tell them about the fantasy podcast, Scott.
I'm trying to fucking end the goddamn fucking.
Well, fucking say it.
Anyways, all right. So look, We are gonna do a fantasy football podcast. I don't know when we're gonna start it. It's gonna be a little different of a podcast because we are going to discuss our league as far as our dynasty league and some of the other leagues that we do. It's not going to be your every other fantasy podcast because it just you go to any fantasy podcast, it's pretty much the same thing. Basically, we want to show actual scenarios of what's going on with people's teams, the moves that they should make, and things like that. We're going to bring on people within the league as guests to talk about their team, reasons why they made their draft picks, and things like that. So it's going to be a little bit different.
We will talk waiver ads though. We'll talk all that stuff and top waiver ads and all that stuff. So
yeah, most definitely. But it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of a scenario podcast than go out and pick up this number one waiver guy that every 100
Every
person
league
in the
picks
universe is gonna go get.
Yeah, it's not going to be a
CP bid all his free agent money.
Yeah.
CP, no.
So
I'm still holding out.
yeah. So, anyways, with that, for like the third time, that concludes this episode. Thank you everybody for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
thank you guys.
Yeah, and with that said, we'll see everyone back next week. And again, thank you for viewing. See you guys later.
See ya.